Sorry, what did you say?
Just a thank you.
I forgot. I'm just waiting for everybody to get. Everybody good?
Yeah.
It's gonna take us.
I need to know what you would.
Y'all want nuggets? Like nuggets?
You want
You're not ads.
What? So ordering food. We get still ordering food. Okay. So I didn't have a chance to write anything because we were prepping, but I have some sentiments that I really do feel that were conveyed to me by Coach Clark. Before we kick things off, I'd like to take a minute to say a few thank yous. First to the TOC and the University of Kentucky, specifically J.W. Patterson, Dave Arnett, Brian Manuel, Adrian Bravero, and Devon Murphy. Thank you for creating an elite event that demands the most out of us and for a well-run tournament. We'd like to thank MBA, specifically our head of school, William Daughtry, for his support of the activity that we all love so much. I want to thank our opponents, Ishan and Ayush, and the Westwood squad. We've enjoyed our debates throughout the year. Raleigh and I would also like to thank our families, specifically our parents, for their support of our passion for this activity. We'd like to thank our teammates and coaches. We're a great big family and we wouldn't be here without you. Lastly, I'd like to thank Raleigh. It's been an awesome 4 years together. I appreciate his hard work and friendship in that order. Now we're ready to start. Roll red. The 1AC has been sent. Y'all got me? Everybody? Okay. Advantage 1 is celestial resources. Space exploration is inevitable. Ensuring common ownership is key to unlock exploration. Resource mining and asteroid deflection. Slide 18. Resource exploitation is part of man's fate. Plans by nations, commercial ventures, including outpost mission resources proposed for one exploration to produce propellants, water, materials, the exploration, and feasible mining to solve conflicts over terrestrial resources, as well as detect asteroids. Asteroids provide showings and NASA's to engage PvP such as SpaceX, which may play a role in exploitation. Greater actors space benefits. Uneven frameworks for exploitation provide a bit of profit while benefiting mankind's model for exploration, which encourages enterprise while accruing benefits. If it encourages exploration while accruing benefits, dividend provide balanced economic and legal framework. International models and analysis all predict massive growth in the asteroid mining industry. Legal clarity is critical. Skip with 23 agencies recently bringing examples from hurdling rocks mining. And if the Senate Economist published papers considering growth in the industry driven by demand for metals, IMF models, growth production of metals from space could overtake production of asteroids, contain 10,000 times as much cost as cost climate. There's no legal framework to regulate to make companies that don't take resources that are plenty for generations. Major tests don't even further than plan to deploy space to measure composition, retrieve material companies developing and mining tech with NASA in the near term. A lack of legal clarity deters crucial investors. KL22 revenue from the space will increase 1.1 trillion. This number does not account for the mining only world can afford. Projects better but not beholden to uncertainty. Asteroids are out of reach due to fears created by landscapes. That solves terrestrial shortages by unlocking a whole universe of unlimited and highly concentrated resources. NAP 23. A rocket will be launching a moon to commercialize mining. Test was the milestone before sending a ship off world as the world transition away from fuels that needed the metals. Resources are limited. Best ways to find. Our tax analysis found that metals needed for infrastructure could go up in price. Asteroids are full of metals that needed to find a higher concentration than Earth, meaning smaller material can be mined to produce more. The transition away from Earth relying on resource costs reduce opens up a whole other universe. Resource was go nuclear. Clear 21. Renewable materials scarcer than petroleum. Say that single check for resource according to a study demand could be 50 times greater than sources limited and costly materials concentrated in a few that could lead to struggles. Lithium, cobalt, REs encounter severe geopolitical problems. Fighting over critical minerals would lead to civilizational fate worse than death. Asteroids cause extinction. Defense does assume speed and tech failures. Hodge 19. Comets are harder to spot than asteroids because they come out of nowhere. They come faster and give less warning. The scientists know about 20,000 comets despite their bringing on 1 billion. Simulations showed by their team of engineers because they failed to deflect. Asteroid probability of rock striking Earth was 100%. Gigantic asteroid release 80,000 times more than Hiroshima, ending life by sending dust which may block the sun. Will come close to several times earlier as 2029. Direct environmental effects, cascading political critical shocks, and accidental nuclear war ensures destruction. Bomb 19, collisions of weapons or similar collisions cause global large fireballs and smoking in the stratosphere, blocks sunlight, destroy ozone, causing cancer, decline threat, starvation, secondary effects, shortages lead to disease, fragility, and shocks as explosive misinterpreted as a nuclear attack, prompting retaliation, collision will cause human extinction. Common ownership removes critical barriers to space exploration while ensuring profits are distributed equally. Soleta 18, the absence of rights is a barrier to ventures law, since walk a line between treaty obligation and how exploration occurs under that regulatory licensing is a matter of wealthily exploiting bodies in the hands of new fury activating prompt sustainable development. OC provide fair effective framework for exploration of the past few years based on history. Moon treaty may receive interesting to elaborate regime to prevent conflict, may bring parties to ratify a regime that we can judge with takes balance approach to exploration which encourages development. Multiplanetary colonization prevents extinction. Reuters 21, becoming multiplanetary to protect the human race. One is a chance of going into the century-long until race existential asteroids, volcanic eruption, and stellar explosion of human created risk of nuclear war by robots that all kill us once by establishing a small outpost. Risk of being destroyed significantly curtails certain assets, causes significant existential data, diversifying the most effective mitigation strategy. Natural adaptation and novel gene editing tools prevent biological breakdown post-colonization. Learn 21, colonization and accelerate evolution factors like radiation, gravity, prompt changes in body systems that have transpired on our planet, meaning within conditions that might speed up evolution and population develop characteristics that help them deal with high altitude radiation that can promote mutation, increasing mutation of natural selection. Move material selection may favor shorter people with development. Melanin is more resistant to UV rays. Advances in editing tools like CRISPR could modify genes before a journey powerful tool to make people survive. The plan's legal regime based on licensing requirements and stakeholder participation is critical to resource extraction and outer space. Dallas 20, framework for mining to a former regime. International collaboration encouraged for mining contribute to SDGs collaboration profitable for all licenses required for mining works taking the royalty payments for easing and leasing the number of permits limited along with limits mass. Extractive planning would require managing environmental impacts and preventing exhaustion through extraction of earth mining would risk assessments with regard to substances from emission opposition results in conflict involvement that is important engagement adding value between cooperative important for mining and need for regulation important because extraction there is a discourse in the manner for mining to be sustainable we must consider impacts. Advantage 2 is the Outer Space Treaty. The plan's first international buy-in revitalizes the U.S. commitment to the Outer Space Treaty by disrupting the benefits of space to all. Gronsky 18, the U.S. could create a signal of using SWS safeguard well from resources to allow humanity to benefit resources OSCs about outer space being the province of mankind. This may come close to accepting the altruistic equality. The U.S. would gain international reputation as a valuable commodity, establishing a fund that was strong symbol of the U.S. I think obligation seriously and setting a bar. The U.S. would get ahead of criticism this is not meeting obligation program be difficult to argue against even if interprets OSC addresses requirements. Action would undoubtedly move the ball without meeting OSC's obligation. Increasing global place the U.S. in a position of sharp clarification of benefits includes simplicity standardization requirement that applicants and conflict organizations serves as the trustee to administer the remove funds from politics. This would be the clearest way to satisfy all countries. The fund provides direct evidence of good faith effort to interpret obligations, encourages countries to follow balanced interests while recognizing rights of other parties. OST governance gaps regarding resource mining licensure proliferates gray zone risk, triggering nuclear entanglement, extinction. West 23, implication of the gray zone airspace includes cyber info interference and energy escalation for warfighting associated with activities one source of insecurity challenges not due to the lack of treaty service the body of space level price principles. The hardest OST clears the stipulation that applies nuclear weapons prohibited. OST provides the foundation for governance gaps that never been clarified. Laws of different states offer interpretation and application approaches licensing of extraction unfolded despite lack of consistent frameworks emerging gray zone linked to failure to govern peace space activities overlap with earthly nuclear CNC and illustrative warheads kept on a high alert for launch respond to receive attacks on cyber attacks and even portion of infrastructure support C4ISR run through the space magnitude of interference indicate with capability significant because cause confusion in response to cyber attack thresholds and unclear attack on early warning can be interpreted as prelude. The strike of war deeply rooted in failure to govern. Conflict is likely defense doesn't assume OSD failure and ongoing militarization. U.S. leadership is key. Watch 23 space creating vulnerability spaces unregulated space contributes to data crucial in conflict making satellites target satellites used for missiles enable military capability kinetic weapons create domino effect destructive consequences. Kinetic weapons offer advantages after altered perception can reach anywhere. Non-kinetic weapons image. Recent example is loss of concept before Ukraine weapons are reality challenging stability. The U.S.'s most influential technology significant presence largest spending. Even if the U.S. has been participating in militarization, there are attempts to establish norms. DoD met with a positive response. This good start to communicating behavior to reinforce the role China viewed dominance as key to winning in wars. Russia now spaces war. Fighting in the space domain of Operation OSD provides legal framework for weapons to ban. Immunity tech prevents challenges necessary to shape the framework. The framework needs to be revised to definition of weapons perception evolved since treaties were signed in a treaty has loopholes to simple managed framework enables individual interpretation behavior may vary no consistency to achieve the difference between military and civilian satellites below. Ukraine militarization with uncertainty misperception lacking conflict framework essential risk interpreting celestial property rights is key to OST credibility. Slide 18. OST ratified by major government space for space law out of space for benefit of all with commercialization new actors. OST government dispute which calls to expand issues surrounding mining received attention to licenses rights and OST forbids appropriation by occupation interpreted to mean OST denies property due to varying interpretation and uncertainties the need for framework governing aspects of exploration. Solvency. The plan solves and establishes an outer space resource fund which imposes royalty requirements on space ventures and redistributes returns to citizens via dividends. Slide 18. Operation may pay licensing royalties to export resources that a business as usual generation of potential for benefiting humanity, but also accessible wealth organization with right to lease asteroids with the balance profit making with benefits of low OST of 25% providing lucrative ventures. Concerned about an investment way forward with minimize the conflict over resources and necessary system which be consistent with the Moon Treaty. Unique example of APF model that conform ventures and ensures sharing benefits while established consistent with OST space resource fund provided market-based mechanism without cycling ventures for undermine the corruption the investment precedes dividends to all residents residents of Alaska view their dividends as a right paid as dividends to all residents to shield the fund from politicians, establish a trust and prudent investment policy means fund is insulated from pressure. Dividend created vested interest on residents are supporting protection by investing revenue from leasing incomes and paying a dividend to residents fund could create at least interest providing expansion by politicians ensuring legal clarity. Consistent with the treaty dividend model offers means to ensure benefits to all mobile banking penetrating the world and represent one way. Distributing dividends instrumental in achieving global development SDGs regime that balances commercial and public interest while minimizing conflicts. Exploitation of resource may be variety. Dividend is key. Only tying space profits to basic income aligns with the OST. Hawk Meets 17. Space resistant can end up conveying benefits upon the wealthiest emerging tech. Money that could stand to be space. Tourism shift and mining can be more profitable. Returns to space consistent with agreements is less clear. OST. Typically, this exploitation will be prompted while my camera refer to how sharing now can benefit all while yielding return to UBI can avert be perfect nations out left behind enacting attacks on resources could alleviate tensions by providing benefits to BI funded by like only the new 100 per month help make a substantial difference would ensure resources do not fall into the hands of the few. Thus, the plan, the United States federal government should provide an outer space resource fund basic income in the United States. I'll go back and read these solvency codes. Empirics prove it doesn't trigger inflation. Miller 21, they find significant positive but negligible, less 1% demand is offset by competition which pushes prices down. Historical inflation and no effects price in Alaska has always been below the United States. Using tax revenue prevents inflationary downsides per Alaska 16. Denmark demonstrates BI cannot lead to inflation is more likely than any other spending taxes to counteract pressure sensible fiscal policy ensure low inflation. Has insignificant effort on the labor force. Studies and empirics Rankin 23. UBI incentivizes employment and entrepreneurship. Misconception UBI disincentivizes participant studies argue current schemes. Mark Recon current schemes.
I'll start cross once I get the point next.
Yep, all good.
I already sent it like 20 seconds.
Wait, let me see if I got it. You have to cross?
Yeah.
Is the plan through the OST?
What do you mean through the OST?
Like, does it, like, the OST is an international treaty that binds multiple countries. Does the plan, you work through OST legal means, like, works with other countries to do the thing?
No, like we don't fiat that like the U.S. reaches out to other countries to establish international legal regimes.
Okay.
We do fiat that the U.S. passes a policy that aligns itself with the OST,
Okay,
which
so-
our evidence says solves.
Okay, so aligns itself to the, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Is it a treaty?
The OST is a treaty.
The-
The
is the
act
plan-
Plan is not a
compliant.
treaty, the plan is a dividend.
Okay, sure.
Dividend is compliant with the treaty.
Okay, sure. The yeah. Housekeeping, who's the actor, the app?
USFG.
Normal means? Like, who's the most likely one to implement it?
I don't know, like Congress passes legislation, maybe like Space Force does it.
Okay,
I don't
sure.
know.
And the dividend is a tax on space mining, and that's redistributed as a basic income?
Yeah, space mining.
Yeah,
other
normal
space
means.
resources.
Yeah, normal
Okay,
means.
sure. Is the basic income universal?
Universal at any given point in time, but it can alter temporally.
What does that mean?
It can the amount changes from time to time,
Yeah.
but at any
Okay,
given
so
time, everyone gets the
index
same
to
So
amount.
the
you're saying
tax.
you violate T non-varying, but don't violate T universal?
Well, T non-varying is a fake argument. That
Sure,
card
that's
actually
fine.
says
Yeah,
that the
okay.
BI can increase over time. But
Yeah.
yes, we meet T universal.
Okay.
Normal
the-
means is T universal.
The Solera evidence specifically indicates, or does not talk about a basic income at all. Why is the basic income key?
Which card? We've read multiple pieces of
So
evidence
what
that
it
talk about a
does.
basic income,
Okay.
like 4 or 5 cards.
Okay, so explain why basic income is key to OSU revitalization.
Well, it's more,
Or
probably
actually,
more key to
explain-
the first advantage.
Okay,
but,
sure, yeah, do that, explain that.
We think creating an international property rights regime that is redistributive to everyone is critical for things like public support, effective
Why is public support
injecting
key
itself
to,
into space.
Wait, why is public support key to space mining?
Why is-
Sorry, for what?
Space mining.
What's the question?
Why is public support key?
Which card? Is it the last card in the
I mean,
first
he
advantage?
just said public support is key. I'm asking.
Yeah, you might want to strike that up.
Which card? Oh, you're
Why is
asking
it- why is it
about
BI key?
Dallas?
Yeah, okay, why is BI key?
Well, I mean, I'll show you my TOC block in the TOC, but there are a few warrants as per the 1AC. The second advantage, the OST principles require distributing profits of space to everyone via basic income. The only way to align the U.S. with
that's
the
not
OST.
what the OST actually says. The OST
The
says that.
Dallas evidence also says that providing benefits to people who are on Earth is critical to
Okay.
like stakeholder participation in the space process. It says
The-
like public opposition is
So
costs a
the-
lot of money for space
what the
projects.
what the OST is built upon is space should be a collective resource that's distributed to all countries equally, so that all countries don't go to war over
Yeah, the
space.
plan
That's what it's
spills
built
o-
upon.
the
How
plan
is the
spills
universal
over.
basic income key to that?
That's certainly a component of the OST.
Also, plan spills over to international distribution. That's the prognostic evidence.
Then perhaps starting that. 8:54.
Yeah.
You want the shorter one or the smaller?
They're all good.
Let me know when you get it. I'm in order while we're in. Yeah, 4, and then advantage on advantage 2. But have more sheets.
Yeah, have some sheets handy.
How many?
Like,
Like 8.
It's opening 10.
So I'm making 12.
I can only.
Yeah. No, I made 4 and 8.
Oh.
Don't forget your thank you.
Yeah, I felt like that was about to happen.
I have not gotten it yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. I think I did speech first. Okay. So I guess before I start, I just give a couple of thank yous. Firstly, I'd like to thank the University of Kentucky for hosting the TOC. It's always, a really well-run tournament. We've made great memories, and I've always enjoyed my time here. Special thanks to David Arnett, Devon Murphy, and the entire UK debate team for making it possible. I'd also like to thank the Westwood administration for supporting our debate team. And then another thanks to Tabroom, Aaron Call. And so, firstly, I'd like to thank my family, mom, dad, and Aisha. In 8th grade, they kind of encouraged me to join debate, and I've never looked back from that. They've given me all the funding and support in the world, and it means a lot to me. From Westwood, I'd like to thank our coaches, Mr. Henderson. You do so much behind the scenes. None of us would be able to compete without the hours of work that you put in every weekday, every weekend, and we all appreciate it so much. To our coaches and everyone who helped us this weekend, Rafa, Gio, Zadal, Arnav, everyone else, thank you so much. None of this would be possible, and we wouldn't be here without y'all. To the other members of the Westwood debate team, our sophomores, freshmen, keep doing what you're doing. I'm really excited to see where y'all go. Our juniors, Pranav, Gong, Ian, and again, just thank you for everything. And then my fellow seniors as well, Eric Ju, Saho Jain, huge thank you to you. Our friendship is really special. And then finally, I'd like to thank MBA as well. You've been a major competitive force in the field, and Simon, you both push me and Ishan to be better every single day. And finally, thank you to Ishan. You're my friend, and I think that we've had a very special debate relationship over the past 2 years. A lot of people commend you for your debate skill, but I think a lot of people forget that you're a really genuine and caring person, and there's nobody else that I'd want to do my last debate than you. So without that, one and see, son. Yes. And stuff will be sent throughout this week. Just a little bit.
you asked what to do?
I just got it. You just have to download it and look at it.
Okay.
Actually, one of my plates for
just in the midst of a taxation, the IRS would need to absolutely focus as use 24. Binding percent 20 billion from the IRS for the cost capture of taxpayers' rights every year to funding cuts or severely misguiding the taxpayers benefit from the company well-funded IRS and costs. And the redirect enforcement resources agency unable to need the public reason improvements in delivering immediate results in IRA. The reverse of funding cuts and results on immediate funding costs and resolved 85% of the 54% centers in taxes directly into progress towards closing taxes and stuff and hiring more of the staff every single hour and auditing $13,000 in taxes. So faces the opposition that's surprising. Corporation don't want the tax enforcement lobbies to politicians they don't want to make it more difficult. They don't protect use the data IRS activities for certainly lawmakers want to protect the agency for the government and fiscal health and they're focused on tax modernization now, but the plan trades offsets. Bracket 24 IRS needs finalization IT modernization with risk of short and potential second appropriated by making this progress security data and replaces it with program language and access to the expected world will be completed very soon in transformation success in cloud computing towards the legacy modernization plan. Good conclusion for the agency IRA technology objective life to detail planning agency did more for talking about as well underway and that it'll cause collapse public support for the government. That's percent 24 IRS wants major inefficient efforts depending on hiring training thousands of document modernization tech successful and development. It will go with the lasting effort IRS for defense for the board and the government credibility one goal modernization appear to afford principles data security and women of tax rates severity preceding the liberty of the IRS to help the public and the congressional support and demonstrate crises the taxpayer in one job stakes are exponentially high and getting the price right into significant challenges dominate is moving constantly. IRS is under the cash in that election year demonstrate the benefits are realized from increased funding and extinction. That's all May 23 excessive for that as humanity new word and several major destruction more destruction failing governing the climate disaster media that terrorists that draws the record teams in the heat in all particular government will disintegrate when asked with the institution trust no answer its immediate failed civilization so government American restriction the federal government only gets worse with the government disruption and the government that incalculable. Next off. Congress should unanimously pass legislation that provides an outer space upon a base king of the United States. The country should depend a signing statement that declares that declares providing an outer space resource basic income in the United States is unconstitutional and unenforceable. And Congress should confer a clause of action and sue the president for rendering the statute void ab initio. It completes dissolved as Spain 22 executive is presuming empire for 17 by and disregards the enacted by the court, including New York. If you conclude the statements are not actually constitutional statements and handicap, and apparently the commercial level has done nothing. And much new by no is the challenge and new court that's Fisher 22 signing statement nullifies the statute limit the war power. The body statement equal act without authority and use forcing the Afghanistan without once receiving authority from the troops of the body and military action without the Congress and no coverage to security pressing troops calling aggregation with the president with a military action will need a more security instructor. No the word of sound justify the war power and emergency requires action in force and then representative approval of deliberation unless the possibility of mistakes in the contemporary the administration. Next off, the United States the Congress should hold that the Constitution compels providing an outer resource fund based income of the United States. It also has failed on 22 straight from the constitutional government assure the powers. No, that would be a few amounts together disrupt together and exercise. That's powers to no more authors but the Constitution cannot go. American aid going back to limited government foundation of liberty, and the prosperity, equality, and the goes basic principles limited government and foundation of liberty, and the prosperity and inequality constitution tells us what powers the FG has a program that authority of Congress and the powers meant to be free for the federal government to general fund. The shields get to us to be government today. We're sorting out federal power interpretation will allow for the spending of public goods and induction of guaranteed powers and effective deadline for time is return the powers of public vision and extinction. That's Michaelis 19. We face the economic and security challenges from the flow and the prolified nature of the warming because of this and the risk of this year federal government are from the states so much to the Fed makes the talks to lawmaking negotiations when possible and creating unbalanced system that unless we address this systemic failures and fix the process we'll never get to that solution get worse. Next off, the base income politicizes the Fed, distracting fundamental economics. That's LRN. 19 the central banks use unconventional measures and repeatedly had to double down and increase the disruptive instability and further complicate the equal to central bank and UBI, attracting the agent of matching the policy maker rendering other aspects of more uncertainty, governing economic fundamentals and widening the eroding and central banks are the effectiveness of the economy and dollar hegemony. That's hurt for dominant dollar dominance is used throughout the world and independence credibility the Fed attracts the world in this the negative shock and transition quickly and constant reason dollars used to trust in each scenario describe the erosion of trust extinction. That's solar 20 the dollars over and the driver leadership and dollar the conversion attitude and adventures in the LAs and the inability to trading fish without the world interest in American central role gives the influence in alternative military action for the banks for the banks to be cut off in that station and strike Korea without the shot of JCP dealing with nuclear words station the dollar without role casing the adversary without the intervention dollar power and fund universal casing global goods such as climate mitigation. Next off. The President should propose and the Senate should ratify a freestanding treaty that provides an outer space resource belt fund based income in the United States. The terms of the treaty should stipulate that nation to our party to are obligated and fully the resource of providing an outer space a resource fund for basic income in the United States. It solves at Schedule 23 of the Constitution provides the treaties providing in the part of the treaty set the force to govern federal law and the legislation supporting the Supreme Court of the Congress must pass legislation which includes all changes and requires and bringing U.S. compliance and provisions that were to pass the legislation implementing the statute to get funding to get the enforcement and recommitting solves extinction. That's Puri 20 IEA plays an important role in the global order to the crisis of economic governance and constitutional challenges environmental regulation and inequalities involving international disintegration and interaction in the state does not possess the interest in getting the facility democracy and sustainability who are shares beyond the border and have no scope for the common project of the earth. Next up. Johnson's facing hardline resistance at Strand 4. 8 of Representative Speaker say that the Democrats and their supporting makers only fellowship Republicans and it is not unseatable for every single Democrat who crosses the side and loses through Representative House Representative except adopted Democrats supporting Johnson along and Johnson lowest more ground than the predecessor to the floor except the Democrats supporting the dates would be number of the critics only force one and remove Johnson increased by the willingness to work with the Dems and Fiat requires John support that cost him the gavel. That's Joe. The 118 the Republicans that started the leverage money with the measures of racism McCarthy had to rely on the Democrats and to keep the government only able to lead to completely chaos and McCarthy's work with the Democrats and lead to removal of the enemies of the Congress approach a change with the working of the Dems and Johnson jeopardizes with a particularly conservative or if he wanted to abandon him with the plunge in the House and House would plunge in the case. So again it doesn't appear with the most representative one of House within conservative angry with them and over democratic issue website seeking willingness to dispose him and that replicates McCarthy's the playbook that's no more many China Hawks expect little change in McCarthy saying it's a smart hawk and sentiment echoed by lawmakers debating outcome that China serves as the source of bipartisan candidates and work in the data driven by the rights hardest with the close security republics and advance the expanding trade with the China that wanted to counter China with the introduced bills on China to prevent foreign government now funding litigation of course many of the position not is in embrace but a new speaker who would towards isolationism that she 23 after comes with China is restricted to one among a highly fractured GOP would also the China policy McCarthy bipartisan faction no significant part of it that's in go to over China and the opposite of the compensate that does not entirely overlap with the new right and both the former prioritization isolation aligns with the latter about it had to credit the freedom compensate indicated the efforts to slash money and undermine the assurance of freedom compensation many because determination the versus the funded GP as a GP to position to collaborate on the right of GP may opt to the federal but the next right and the next people will face less pressure and reaching bipartisan agreements will come to increasing challenging and extinction that's the Blanchet in 22 words to agree to give the positive deterrence to ability to administration with the risk of life century reaching down to and proceed calculation may strip down the breaching and appreciate the direct result to be cost deterrence most importantly evident and all clear on moving support for Taiwan indication that Washington is we bring a result because most likely to be more aggression than Beijing. Next off, the United States federal government should provide a basic income in the United States. It solves both advantage 1 and advantage 2. Next off.
Skip econ. Advantage.
Advantage 1, no resource words. It doesn't say station. There's a launch list of all classes that they can resolve. No space asteroids at Baker at all. 19, we estimate the space weather along over the western and severe events along normal profiles and capture the trends at higher severities and best scientific guarantee. And 10 years into 3% with 95. Let's see effort along normal distribution and the environment is resilient. That's Matonia. 18, what's so fascinating about the red dynamics and anything survives the laughter. So adapted with thousands of species has made it other everything and tries to solve the facilities to make their sense in excess to be once of ID with the Earth will collapse and the evidence is it. Even locally, the planet didn't collapse after Trias and one collapse and doing the gradual analysis of the ecosystem solidity grid will never 600 income showing collapse and advantage 2. The OSD got space development by undermining competition. That's Forster 16. The U.S. was withdraw from the trade treaty which grants the space development OSD OSD nations and companies from claiming sovereignty in extraterritorial matter of the geopolitical competition in OSD in favor of establishing American sovereignty efforts will reduce launch efforts and achieve rest in space Trump administration withdraw from the outer space treaty from the new front lines and the U.S. will just ignore the OSD override. That's nonsense. 17. The OSD made no explicit mention of mining in the U.S. is talking for commercial exploitation. More federal government is double down. It has caused this action and recognize the right to asteroid and resources in order to resisting balance research and bonus system unilateral space mining they claim the resources belong to everyone.
The offer right off my computer were sent, and I'm sending the OST defense cards.
Okay, sweet. Once I get those, we can start.
Okay. Those cards are sent, they're just in the body. I can put them in a doc if you want to be so. No.
Is it okay? Okay.
Wait, give me a second.
Sorry, but like case cards are sent to the chain. Are they also in the doc, or just in the chain?
The OST defense is just in the chain.
Okay.
The advantage 1 defense is in his doc.
Okay. You're good. Yeah. Everson, the IRS internal link card, says the IRS is improving taxpayer services. Where do you think you've read an internal link between that and broader trust in the government?
Taxpayer services. Yeah, in the last paragraph it says that if they don't get those right, the IRS will be under clear pressure. That undermines.
Okay, so like the IRS will be under scrutiny. People don't trust the government now because of like Israel,
you
and they
haven't
think
read
Biden
evidence on
stole
that
the
question.
election. Where have you read evidence
Well,
says it
we'll make
overcomes
arguments
this?
for why IRS collapse include
In the 1 and C, you think you have evidence to support that?
I mean, I think Ullman is pretty good. At the first paragraph, it says
Really?
if people
You didn't?
lose trust in like tax collection, they would, also think that.
I don't think the
people
card
fail
says
government.
that at all. That's fine. Status?
Conditional.
How does the AF politicize the Fed?
There are multiple ones.
Yeah, sure. So the Fed counterplan, the binder evidence is pretty good. Oh, sorry, not the binder evidence, the Alrain evidence. It says that if a basic income were performed through the Fed, that would lead to more like quantitative.
If it
easing.
were performed through the Fed.
So there's two links. One is if it were to have some federal intervention that would politicize the Fed. The second
Wait.
is a basic
Sorry, just to
income
clarify.
itself.
Federal intervention or Fed intervention?
Fed Reserve. The second argument, and the more significant one in the Alrain evidence, says that a basic income itself is a huge economic reform, the biggest one the U.S. has done in like 100 years. That would cause massive economic volatility, huge ramifications, changes. The Fed would have to do multiple new things. The Congress would appoint new people into the Fed to have sufficient resources for these new economic changes. That
Why
actually
would they
politicize
need to
the Fed.
move more people to the Fed to like adjust rates? That sounds like they could do that right now.
The Fed
with
does
new people.
way more than just adjust rates. We
What do
have
they
no
do?
idea what the Fed does.
I kind of do.
You're
Go through it.
lost.
What do they do?
Okay, well, so they make open market purchases. They set the federal.
Yeah, why
funds
do you
rate
need more
to-
people to like buy bonds? Like, how many people do you need to do this? It's on a computer. Does your evidence say you need more people to do that?
No, it's not necessarily just adding more people to the Fed. We think the unique internal link is quantitative easing. It's the third.
Okay, so quantitative easing is the internal.
I-
Not all that
There's
other one.
there's
Other
multiple
ones,
things
the
that the
main
Fed would
one-
have to do post
Alright. How does Johnson foreign policy solve China? Your evidence is like Johnson advocated trade. Never says it got adopted, never said anybody else liked it. What? How does that solve?
hold on, let me pull it up. I mean, yeah, the Xi evidence. I mean, what line are you referring
Well,
to? I
the
mean, it
problem is
says-
that there's no line. It says Johnson
No,
likes
I mean,
trade.
like,
That's
it's-
not an
I
internal
think
link.
It's pretty good. It says that there would be
It's not.
prioritization of isolationism and by the administration.
And you think Johnson solves isolationism broadly? What card do you think you've read
broader
this?
trend of undermining U.S. deterrence. right
Okay.
now.
Guts, space development, the OST card. It says that it prevents geopolitical competition. Why do you think military competition in space is key to development? That's fine. It's okay. Unless you can take that.
Okay, 10 starting now. 5 simping.
5 on the dot.
Yeah.
Okay. Before you go, I'm going to use the restroom.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So are we using something called MBA in New Jersey?
What are we talking about? How about that in common? This is a
No, that
council.
was wrong word.
Thank God.
No, we like 2 more speeches, dude.
What's your
Judicial.
Sir.
There's Ishan. Ishan, can I start the thank yous? Before I start, I'd like to echo a lot of what Sai said. Thank you to our school, families, opponents, the MBA team, all of UK, and the TOC staff. I also want to thank my brother who introduced me to this activity. He texted me before this round, even though he never follows Tab Room anymore. He really introduced me to the activity, showed me how to debate, taught me how to cut cards, taught me everything I know. Next, I'd like to thank my parents. You've shown the utmost support for me throughout my debate career. I'm next want to thank the NBA team, all of the debaters. There's so many of you. The coaches, especially this weekend, tons of coaches. Clark, Hamrick, Lepp, Brown, Bunton, Joe, Jack Young, new coach, Mish PD, Taylor, Terrell Taylor, Jen, and I'm definitely missing some. Don. Yeah, thank you to all of you and the ones I missed. The seniors on the team, Eden and Sanjit, y'all are amazing. I also want to thank a lot of my friends in debate, Sarah, Avi, Maggie, Danny, all the other people that I've been friends with this summer and outside around. Y'all are the reason I continue debating. Finally, I want to thank Sai. Most people don't know, but Sai and I were actually partners novice year, but we were not friends whatsoever. We didn't really like each other. We didn't really get along, but we won some rounds novice year. We did well. So it's been really fun getting closer with you this year and becoming more friends. Yeah. Okay. Chu A C is Is everyone good from order? Okay. Advantage 1, advantage 2, signing statements, the Congress counterplan, the treaties counterplan, the resource fund pick, the speakership disad, the IRS disad, and then the Fed disad. Huh?
Order.
Okay. Advantage 1, advantage 2, signing statements, Congress counterplan, treaties counterplan, resource fund pick, speakership disad, IRS disad, Fed disad. Okay. Is anyone not ready? Okay.
What is the one yes research of the one to see clear evidence says that lastly like the only way to solve it is through by getting resources from space, which is critical to space mining. That's the one to see evidence, yes. And no cause the one to see evidence says the space mining is critical to resolve territorial researchers that definitely solves now the asteroids even is wrong there. Evidence does not assume the models that are one to see evidence does. The one to see Hegel evidence says the probability is 100% of asteroids causing extinction, and it's prior die for us to use space research to develop a physics division response to the environment resilience stuff is run not response to the clear evidence assumes that it's not specifically to the environment, but evidence says a resource shortage that will cause nuclear war, which means that environmental stuff is relevant. They drop colonization solves like the what is evidence says the colonization stops every accidental threat by entering humans and can have a space to go out of and avoid all the accidental threats on the
Okay, finish it.
U.S. will not comply. U.S. will comply with the OST or 180 Gronosky evidence says that plan's dividend is critical to a firm use commitment to the OST that solves for a broader U.S. commitment which spills over and that stops accidental nuclear war from the West evidence. The OST turn is wrong. One, the OST is inevitable. The plan it's just a question of whether the U.S. affirms it, which is what our internal evidence says is key to stopping nuclear war. Plus, their evidence is not a state where this tactic does 180 crossing. They also dropped a few impacts on the case page. The West evidence says that OST credibility via U.S. affirmation is critical to stop nuclear war in space from a number of different measures via ASATs and cyber war that stops extinction. Signing statements. Per new road, per the kind of cross should accommodation, to permit the plan and accountment over legislation, per the plan and pen of signing statement over something else that's functioning legitimate style will send out the text economist must be out of text and functioning key to Afghan clash and research to solve nothing. One is clarity of the economy. If yes, intervention flight and tells the world the precedent is against the plan to lack of a clear legal framework to charge crucial investment and charge research over recess give a cliff evidence economists over convoluted process ruins a decisive U.S. signal that's going to be committing the U.S. OST is a sign of goodwill that permits international follow on that's the Gronosky evidence avoids uncertainty the certainty necessary for the plan's capability to delay the not via the judiciary. The result in court case is delayed, resulting in a prolonged period of extreme uncertainty and implementing. Our impacts are fast. The line decline is coming now absent. The plan the only way to solve it is via the plan the space asteroids could cause extinction in the meantime. No benefit. It is not needing the impact has been thumped by decades of signing statements. All causes outweigh excessive executive chaos is inevitable through war powers and executive privilege. Totally inevitable powers before. President is going to power to war Congress and efforts to beat out war and become structural assert authority around launcher without preservation and Congress on authorized Korea around the mystery union like how committed allows our to post on war. Trump wins and turns the impact they cannot solve and no impact number 9. Statements unremarkable. The president is determined to not feel bound by law and community service. No way Congress about Congress. Cut funds course over law states or that's the only way to self can refuse to comply. No guarantee for good statements. Congress cannot win. First, no internal and a spell over single instance of Congress spelling does not solve broader federal and Congress action does not cause more rights for states. Economy is incoherent, be no impact, no. The only line mentioned states being better evidence concedes all causes that it takes 30 years to solve. 2, permanent economist away the plan can be done. 3, permanent economy in the F should does not require 30 core 15. Policies every number of receive all definitions right guidance to policy public and shall indicate action must be taken in all cases or cities policy will always be covered policy should and can action. In most cases expectation and acceptable for good reason should reverse the future. But it should look the future for the possible future for the not write a card saying that and the plan cannot be just Congress is there. It's not a competition argument for this economy because it's still requires that the plan happens or does not compete of certainty or immediacy. 4, per the plan the economy of the truth solves the internal benefit insert the text below. 5, cannot solve cross by certainty signaling the economy is a convoluted process that does not solve any of our offense well. The pill on evidence does not describe economic solvency says Congress should reassert their authority over the government. Not that they should threaten the Fed or threaten the rest of the government to do the plan. There's not a reason why the kind of action results in the plan. Now 6, per new both solves internal treaties. No internal and no spill for a single treaty over the plan is not called treaty used broadly. No impact. The one discarded is about international economic law does not explain what about treaty solve extinction what even is accidental CAL fails to give me 20. CAL from McGonagall's murder, a police station controversial claims are commonly win a party with, and the makes affect a lot of authorities diffuse no one entirety settle CIL, the higher extreme of the individual structure, any inconsistent and new data, alter CIL, transitory, elusive to apparently comments away the plan can be done. They have not defined any words in the resolution. The plan does not require the House, and it does not mean that only the House can do the plan because fiscal policy is not equal. Fiscal redistribution 3 permanent the account, and then the app 4 permanent the plan on the account, other issue solves the internal benefit. Insert the text below 5 cannot solve. The House will resist it, and they're a mess right now. Approved by the dissent. There's no they win the risk of the win link that is approved, and that Johnson will never support the plan, so will never vote for funding that takes out all solvency because the account requires funding to actually invest in the basic income of 6 per both solvency general resource fund fit. Perm do both perm to the accountable. There's no debate with the accountable page because it still links to all the opposite right on the page. The sovereign wealth fund is key. The first is taxation. The first advantage is predicated on establishing a property rights regime for the plan for mining rights, which is critical to enable them to actually mine in space. The second is following only establishing U.S. fund creates international goodwill signals. Treaty revitalization here is followed by safeguarding the profits of space. That's Gromowski evidence. The only way you can actually solve for OSC affirmation is via the plan sovereign wealth fund, not just providing a basic income, which means the space resource fund is key. Speakership. Johnson's already fraternizing to his budget, yanking for Prop 5. The year's funding bill passed with over half of Trump's caucus voting against it, and breaking the House rule that sparks the first time to 2.5 years driving Johnson the arms of the Democrats and Ukraine. Obviously, the plus Dibs prevent outstaying shells 14. House Sims again go lesser on Johnson plan to provide assistance and numerous since indicated they're willing to help the House GOP leaders Raskin, Schultz, Howard, said he party back bills. Democrats like are also likely to be back changing the single member wish to make case boil, and Johnson said he deserves to Dibs prevent ousting out for 414. If Johnson removes the green trigger's process to Allison Jeffries said Democrats would not want to see the speaker fall as a result of doing the right thing. Internal snub about why a McCarthy replacement starts Taiwan invasion perception alone should have triggered invasion. House is relevant for Taiwan to Biden still has the duty to know what Taiwan overall state of 24. Invasion of Taiwan 24 as far as the foregone conclusion predicts have become a common currency now we all fully available forecast counter constantly rate the risk of low Congress China becoming a window which keeps it on risk lower to state and look at risk and annihilation without consideration and a low baseline probability heavily exaggerated chief forecast still overestimating the other things matter Taiwan's constantly going to understand showing close election that hate China harder, and then the West Taiwan comment should proceed. And the only legislative action Johnson has taken on China is regulatory restricting lobbying and litigatory funding. Neither is key to defend Taiwan, which reserves no impact to him, but will protect Johnson from removal of Justice Smith 419. Johnson would decide to professional consideration in favor of broadness to why Democrats to do reporting a Congress total vote Johnson was offered to protect you. If it comes to that without actually materializing an absolute Democratic, I think it's not going to because Johnson somebody else makes even more consistent MTG that will make my life worse. As much as the Democrats' interest to say now about Johnson, about Democrats, hold on Johnson and says well that we will come up to your rescue. IRS. No uniqueness currently inputting cuts right the IRS burns what's in. Spending agreement will share cuts the IRS little will cut $10 billion on 1 year early Republicans took aim of voting people allotment probably taking House through funding deals so final levels not something like they did not much as they did not cut as much as would like with objectives and any further pressure cuts first they are also substantially open the door more cuts broad likely effect would be if you're just a typical part of the enforcement auditing takes expertise and auditors and makes it more in the private sector no trade-off implementation of the distance scenario is so important they'll take resources from other initiatives than the plan fiat solve the plan provides new funding for the space tax program advocates to define the scope and mandate the plan only way to bring neck from the self-serving interpret the data is ridiculous or link card is by global sustainable governance internal quality it's much IRS's tech infrastructure products there's not a reason why they solve it plus the app solves all sustainability stuff from the first advantage Fed decide. Only time the link evidence mentioned to UBI is about MT, obviously not the app and the link card says QE is out of control now. That's a 1 and T LI written evidence on the rehaling and binder evidence about the status quo. The plan does not allow the president to commandeer the Fed and also does not mention the BI, which means it does solve no impact and instability strengthens dollar heads late 19. Disruption, uncertainty, and intrinsic America's from another. A euro RMB no global pace fall. It's from a dominant base of 160% in dollars compared to 25 and 2% in euros. Yen and RMB greenback. Insurance will no control to leave in most developed market. Buying it's easy to search the RMB close account RMB will not allow comfortably. Those who are Beijing will have it. The security game recoveration is opaqueness. So normal means a zero Fed interaction. They're private, not controllable. The president, no internal president, literally has zero authority of the Fed's mandates. Best they have a Congress scenario which is zero because largely a conservative Congress has never compelled the Fed to increase QE. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. Doc I just sent has the dissat in the terms.
citizens to the team?
I don't think there were any.
Okay, cool. Second advantage, what is the conflict over the OST right now?
Yeah, the issue is that the U.S. has not committed itself to the principles of the OST, so the U.S. has consistently rejected the idea that the U.S. should provide like the profit of space back to its citizens. The 180 Garanowski evidence says that if the U.S. were to provide a space resource fund dividend to all Americans, that would reaffirm the U.S.'s commitment to the OST.
Okay, so they have not agreed to redistribute resources back to its citizens. Have other countries agreed to do so?
The Garanowski evidence doesn't. Well, they haven't, but the Garanowski evidence says that if the U.S. were to do that, it would cause other countries to.
And what other countries would that be?
Every country.
Okay, is every country in the? Okay, that makes sense. The signing statement's kind of fun. Certainty. Why does it cause resource overuse? What's the internal link?
For which? What do you mean
First
resource
sentence.
overuse? Oh yeah, the SCIBA evidence says that if there's not certainty over like what is taxed in space, what resources, what mining products are taxed, that will prevent the miners in space from effectively like delivering resources back to Earth. They won't know what to do. They'll not actually invest in space because it's uncertain. If they don't know like how much they'll be taxed, they'll be skeptical of any projects in space.
Okay, that makes sense. The second deficit delay. What is the role of the judiciary here? Like,
Yeah, the signing statements require like someone to go take them to court to solve
well,
the
yeah.
plan.
It-
Yeah,
and
you don't
said
fiat the judiciary actually like supports those, which means
Oh, okay.
it's a convoluted process requires going up through the courts, which delays the effect of the plan from
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, no more questions. We'll take the rest of this.
Line what?
854.
854 prep. Starting now. Stop prep. 816. Doc is being sent. Oh shoot, before I send it. Forgot.
What a nightmare.
I forgot about the thank you speech. For a second. Okay. I'd like to thank the Westwood administration, UK, for hosting this great tournament, and a lot more people. But I feel like I'd just be regurgitating the top of what everyone else's thank you statement is, so I'm not really gonna do that. I'd like to thank my friends from the community, a bunch of people from BFGHR, BEJJP, K from the past 2 years, AQ, and a lot more people, Uishi Shetty. Then I'd like to thank the Westwood debate team, Sahil, Eric, all these these people keep me motivated throughout my losses, the tough ones, and the good moments where we win big debates. It's very motivating. I'd like to thank the judges for being here to evaluate my last debate ever. I'd like to thank MBA for having great debates over the course of the year. Some big memorable moments, the finals of the regional round robin, the prelims of this tournament, the Glenbrook's tournament too. I'd like to thank my partner especially. I think he's a big contributing factor to why I'm actually here for multiple reasons. He keeps me motivated, he keeps me disciplined, and he also pulls me through very tough situations with school. And when I'm on the cusp of failing a class, I'm about to be non-eligible for the next tournament, and I tell him assignments due in 10 minutes determines whether or not we go to the Glenbrook's tournament. He locks in, and post facto I realized that the assignment had no chance. He's just insane with it in that regard. I'd like to thank all my coaches. A big reason why I'm here, Mr. Henderson, for coordinating with the Westwood admin, who's a pretty big pain to deal with. Raphael, Gio, Arnav, Het, Ian, Mackie, Piccolo, and a bunch of others who've helped me throughout the past 3-4 years of debate. Lastly, I'd like to thank my parents for supporting me financially and emotionally through my debate journey. DocuSign. Order is just a signing statement, kind of fun.
I'm good.
You're good? The BA is good. Panel?
Separation of powers that way, collapse, costume, miscalculation, not by unhinged foreign policy, risking nuclear war in every theater, lack of oversight makes diplomacy impossible, unleashes waves of military interventions, its broad retaliation, nuclear war, ecological collapse, and facing order inevitable, absent controls once in 19, House, nuclear city, nuclear infrastructure, unauthorized force against iron, diplomacy, successful locus, nuclear confrontation with Russia, no path, and our risk of the United States, attack the nuclear complex, required, dependent studies regarding security, future signing to, the program of social non-climate, 19 for keeping in mind, president of liberation decline, given the practice of raising proportions lost with segments, bringing impact defense from the bottom here, the record is shit, and is more so about whether or not the CP solves, which will be extendable, and they have one shit line about impact defense, even if executive power is generally stable, signing statements with the exception, they make oversight impossible, and ensuring mission failure and non-intentional war, escalation is likely from accidents, a cyber war, and LOW, conditional checks are key, PRE 20. Extremities led, that nuclear Russian led, military nuclear exchange with Cuban and US policy, there's only a matter of time to use global military, misguided rules, civil authority, and LOW, or false alarms, cyber and civil press nuclear policy against nuclear war, misguided, and using civil authority life with Congress, Tracy, one was do both, it is severance, or it is the CP's was exclusive signing statements and validate the plan by stripping its mandate of legal force via requires enforcement, that's undo CP, so doing both is incoherent, if it means anything at all, it enforces the plan despite the statement that fails, one is downgrading, exposure 8, what does it mean to interpret statements, the debates particularly reviewed the press release with the treat as the statement of the opposite of the video turns out other the president decides to honor the operation the field suspect imposed and active expression one nothing more than expression on the other end and non-enforcement of so seven no check about disorders and transcend expression conduct two is standing no Volshin beggar 6 the course of not standing non-grounds congress not injured by no the worst issue with not standing to be president of obligation taken care of must be executed with the real issue is how president executes his statements was the president does not lies with the law proof minister of the pudding not in the latest laboring fees alignment Anderson 18 Brazil and the record never constitution open ended the possibility of aggressive justice with the statement alone and cases no worst case happen factions were then implement provisions Congress never cases never occurred to debate our constitutional argument academic that voice precedent is illegal fraud 86 arrested no basis wise in the case not but should be a virtue the best speed and the no words have the good speed of another rules bar station so they do another branch evaluate from through offense defense it's worse than the CP alone so there's no reason to include the plan to AC2 due to combat severance the voting issue for ground and clash the CP mandates opposite the plan of prohibition that it plays that not down to space fund treaty basic basic income is unconstitutional. Signing statements make the bill not law and avoid legal effect. That's fame. Any solvency is purely by result based on downstream implementation of court ruling. Avoid accommodation to the mandates where many effects goes down because any action could cause the plan. It's no different than the U.S. model within a national CP or federal following which states signing several law. Offensive 22, over the misstatements contextual, which is obviously unless not common statements, but interpreted, notified controversial laws, legal variation is not manifest, but only, but the force using the rules, distinction from no policy, non enforcement words, non enforcement words, their violation is rising, law enforcement, no official, necessary strike, non enforcement service, no matter for the forecast, non application, those that leave scope, statements, make the plan a nullity, precaution 8, existing, not for constitutional statutes, and constitutional laws, there's no of the initial because it nullifies, disapplied no law to enforce, stop goal, or requirements for a closed mechanism. One is fiscal distribution is defined as a tax or transfer. SER 16, distribution to government taxes and transfers as the force of law. Block 2, no force of law, so taxes, fund line 22. I see, legally binding tax rules. 2 is substantially increased. It must be actual, not potential. No words of phrases 6, 4, special, can be, but does not in fact exist. Increase it requires a mandate. Before, increase, the excessive function, other objective, navigation increase unworkable, not in fact, to define the division would be the CP removes any legal force. Bill or 8, President, not issue with law against referring to constituents. Not by, notice I should take one example. An example for preferred force of law is all ground on force cases spiked upwards like politics, econ, and federalism, and defining exposed limits, bringing the CP makes any advisory action topical like guidance, HT memos are dicta to C3, most from other issues, and so was to C4. Other issues are intrinsic to CP, attaches assigning submitting to the plan, nothing more. The CPs, the cannabis must be functionally provided. Preferred one is ground place, specific limit is also nice, and a possible burden against new apps that destroy fairness. Germanics is meaningless. No, then will shift and coach. No small cases that dodge slash new apps is limited condition that solves their offense, lose logic, contextual combination. This was obviously cost with semantics and implies efficiency. The body justifies functional severance, which makes the after moving target 3 education, Dublin, North Money. Those are people who are mechanisms, bodies, nuclear reform, design, tax over, ship, penalties from the system to reform, the increase effects on orientation, methods, reforms no abuse are guaranteed ground because CPs are discrete for the plan. They must be classified for defined deficits are negative, any limit for intrinsicness is arbitrary. No, it also does not solve one is vagueness. This links to both context and to the chain. Jensen 7, like this saying, resolving Congress also oversees specific measures have challenge issues on the makes the leader, similar to his rightness, bill or aid. The court, no faster decided, sending for the next regardless, the range of the reform is equal to, not sure of general supervision if it Congress had understanding about. Satisfied rightness regardless, part of God requirements, now the CP is also the case. The possible plan is the legislation where plans to signing statement that delays disclaims the law is non-binding and unconstitutional. The Congress will then challenge the statement in the court of law, who will strike it down. Recent threats make the solvency starting Grand Senate 14 24. Let's see, let's wait for years on the judge of power, executive of the branch, and towards easier, check policy, but virtual authorizations in place of bureau, not invited, a big breath tried to issue bills in the face of Congress. There's no difference. Trainer 93. We're new unenforceable statutes. No customer reform, not enforceable, overturn constitution, but unenforceable, there is process of several cases. Unless it rules in new rule, but regardless of basic law, the reference automatically become unenforceable. Now, certainly deficit is offense. Assigning statements to make all law uncertain, allowing the executive provision. And after the passage, the Constitution take the rules to feel reversal. The CP process look more durable. Political support is great. The entire Congress demands the plan, and it's upheld by the judiciary. More of Article 16. The extent there's opportunity setting expectation about authority statements or agreement, lobbying, modern benefits of delegation, increasing information, lobbying, discouraging cooperate with the President and Congress, such as more important roles, deleted boundaries for authority, legal actors, but inside other contexts, the executive authority cannot enforce it. The benefit turns restoration powers is collapsing, casting blowback that destroys the legitimacy of lawmaking. Intervention, conflict, ruling certainty, Congress, the President, as general power provisions, reminding good faith signing statements, rewarding Congress, advice, lobbying, reward statements, over navigation, less transparent, accountability, personal and enforced policy, high level of officials, information, and for legal arguments, result, expressing, effects of virtue to oversight, mentioning by presidency as unitary, at worst, the CP's, there's no comparative differential, the CP caused the plan, they have evidence that speaks to the process, 95% evidence as outcome is key, some uncertainties inevitable from political backlash in media and litigation, delayed deficit is fake, fiat solves, Congress will immediately sue, forcing the court's handler to respond within 2 weeks for us to push, unless of course, had a consider case on, expedited leadership, those are weak to place after argument, more Freeman point of view. Judicial will be brings after the okay, just heard the mention about caution or drugs, yes, even before immediate, not first experience, more hard experience, links to the case, the plan also requires litigation to enforce judgments, even if no impact, nothing is short term, the case is far off. We have not adopted a resource fund, basic income for decades, the statute alone, solved by single chain, and the case is obviously far off, after admitting resource shortages, and no steep rather massively far off, numbers are irrelevant, our evidence is newer, and they provided uniquely supports the Trump argument for all. The CP seals interpretation power, the key threat is by signing stupidity, all, no checks and effective, running law, meaningless, and empowering unhinged presidential action. That's Fisher, it's a prerequisite You have been 22, President, the make policy, and the judge cannot be known as a problem discussion, the President, the President, make great reason, the President, not party silence off, and President, and the expensive interpretations of authority, group all causes their uniqueness, presidents of powers high now, business high experience, make oversight impossible, numbers to assume our scenario, even if authority exists close CP, it's no longer on check, that's Fisher, now is the key window, Hathaway 21, now you continue, talking about this, no, like reach out, other Trump, who are saying, promise that enforce, the effect of not being got it, when you take back on Congress interest, and we're muscle making a change. When people results in power, place you might do, should be unless somebody was on the parties who are assessing, normally good things problem, and opportunities on the rule of law. In you admin, Trump wins is inevitable, provides uniqueness, he's a rogue actor, and this is an assertion bad news, equally likely to win. More for the CP key, or else involved to repeat, for most people, executive restriction says, no state of jurisprudence, see opinions for unitary, we can say for us around the last place with power, I'm going to recover the architects, the factory made, no means that we should be making. Give me a second, I need water.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, my first question is about the mechanism of the counterclaim. You fiat that Congress sues the executive. What guarantees that Congress continues pursuing that lawsuit?
Well, it's like, that's sort of irrelevant. One is durable fiat, we fiat, Congress does it, so good faith
So
implementation.
you fiat like the full suit goes through and they win.
Well, we don't fiat, they win. That's
What do you fiat?
that's
What do you
Sloan's
fiat?
question. So we fiat, Congress does legislation that compels the plan.
Right.
Then we fiat that the executive does a signing statement,
Yeah.
rules as unconstitutional. Then we fiat, Congress takes it to the court. We've read evidence in the
Yeah.
1C and the 2NC that says that the court will strike it down. You haven't made this no strike down argument in the 2AC. So
Yeah, but I'm asking about like what is the enforcement mechanism on the executive?
Okay, the courts will strike it down, and then the executive must comply with the court.
Okay. The internal net benefit, the Swanson evidence talks about a number of policies passed by the House and those stopped like existential crises. Why is that a reason why like Congress reasserting its authority or separation of powers is good?
Wait. What card? And repeat the question.
The first card. It's about why House policies that passed already are good. Why is this a negative?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, it says empirically House policies have limited executive going rogue, and that has prevented escalation in hotspots. This doesn't double turn uniqueness because we read other uniqueness cards that says signing statements are high now, SOP low now.
Yeah. Why are those signing statements key to SOP or to solve any of these issues?
Right, because signing statements are the largest thing that is used that the executive uses to go rogue. The executive has very few other legal instruments, and will answer, your all causes push in the 2NR.
Okay, signing statements, they've been used by the executive for like decades. Why does it not take out the impact?
Well, okay, the Outer Space Fund has also not happened for decades, so it equally applies. But we have read now key evidence which says that
what card
the
says that?
executive- Well, I mean, one is the impact cards. Two is you've said Trump wins now. We've said that he's a rogue actor. Three is I think the Hathaway evidence says that. Let me pull it up. Yeah, the Hathaway evidence says that right now SOP is uniquely eroding because of certain congressional
Okay. Do both the downgrading deficit, why does the federal government doing the plan and then doing the whole process of the counterfeit, why does it like prevent solvency?
Because the Congress just took it to the court,
Right.
but the plan already occurred, so there's nothing to sue over. Like the court is gonna be like, what are you doing? You're suing over something that has already occurred. You want something to occur, but the plan occurred.
The grounds of the lawsuit and the grounds that the court would rule upon is that signing statements are a bad thing, correct?
No.
But then what are they
Well,
ruling
okay,
on?
yes. In the world of the
Then
CP,
why does it
in the world
matter?
of the
Why
plan,
does
it
it
was
matter
struck
what
down.
the lawsuit is over?
So in the world of the perm, the judiciary does not rule over a signing statement. It
Well,
says
okay,
Congress
that's
is brain
the,
dead.
that's the world of the
relevant.
counterfeit, though.
What?
You've said that the reason why the counterfeit solves is that the courts will say signing statements are a bad thing. They'll say the executive has to do the plan.
Correct. In the world of the
Why does it
CP,
matter
but
what the
not in
signing
the
statement
world
is
of the plan.
about if it's just the rulings over the signing statement?
Well, yes. In the world of the CP, yes, it would be over the signing statement. In the world of the plan, there are other grounds.
Okay,
because the plan is
that makes
already
zero
good. So the
sense.
signing statement, like all.
That's time.
Sure.
Will be the IRS decide the extrajudicial interpretation counterclaim, the Constitution one. the treaties counterplan, the resource fund pick, the Fed just said, speakership, advantage one, advantage two. Let me know when you're good.
IRS, the Constitution thing, treaties counterplan, pick, Fed decide, speakership decide, 1, 2.
Yes.
Okay, I'm good.
I'm not. Hold on. Let me download it. Okay. Yeah. Panel. Trust collapse outweighs accelerates every single impact. Climate disasters at terror and drones collapse as fast and occurs at the IRS. Disintegration outweighs on magnitude, least diminishing national destruction. World War III and quote a failed civilization. It turns the case to make credibility with the OSC impossible because nobody trusts the government. It tops the list of existential crises and outweighs all scenarios as Peterson. 21 words and existential nuclear weapons into Chinese government. The biggest worry in keeping U.S. deficits and geopolitical risks and central importance and health of business and economy. And survey the executive and business leaders are trying to put their hands up. It's something to worry about something then worrying seriously. And debt causes extinction. And insurance and mechanic instability. Terrorism spreads globally. That's Taylor. 20 anti-debt must be repaid and be resistant to unsustainable jet which lead to crisis. And the groups are drawing off the only recently impeding the ability to respond to the growing threats and leaders now fail to deal with the macro problems at the threshold of the crisis and collapse. And the tightly globalization system which is likely to make the crisis right and the debt market risk disruption, GDP, and negative and public policy issue to be a country with the unexpected resolution and preventing stability, national WMDs, and then COVID result of the fragility of the bank's QE and the public liquidity and the markets and ushering the insidious development of alternative civilization as we know it. Unique to space, we see one, the IRS is modernizing, incorporating new technology that'll expand tax administration capabilities, but funding cuts and lobbyists threaten to throw that off the balance. That's one to see huge. There's a hiring, surge, tech progress, and rapid acceleration. That's cats. 24 the IRS, and then unconventional funding the IRS, hiring surge, and then 851 billion in targeting such beginning to renovation center progress has limited job openings, making it a remarkable process for the IRS and change basis accelerating and restoring funding for the IRS, and then maintaining expected hiding and facing political headwinds, and the IRS is not making significant changes to volume staffing shortage. No company knows it poses a significant threat. They say that funding cuts are inevitable. It's not close. If it happens, it'll be internal. Biden and get your funds or future emergency convince Congress to appropriate more, and cuts aren't that bad. That's what it got. 44. Biden administration said that the cuts will not affect the IRS investment strategy. Want to improve its $80 billion was of his last 10 years in IRS leadership plan to take the most insolvency in the most few years to complete the technological modernization, hiring jobs, and up in the new years in IRS and inventing the scanner set, utilize the documents and quicker process and faster issue refunds, the improvements and responsive to obviously successful service, improvements to the convincing voters, support the additional U.S. funding in the process and go on technological and more staffers now, increasing taxation links and sometimes IRS create resources. That's the debate. 17 integrated IRS research going to be important in tax changes that the tax system would have to make major implications for the IRS need to become familiar with the tax system and changes to the IRS and each capabilities and change the IRS research the environment one alone with the IRS funding being cut in proposals create new tax avoidance opportunity that IRS enrollment can enforcement be crucial to avoid the abuse and undermine the aspect of the tax system specifically basic income links. It's the IRS would go and manage basic income. That's MOG, which would crush resources. That's MOG. 21 should the IRS administrator basic income in the with a few agency administrator. The IRS holds such a political support and expanding the easier than sending it be difficult for the IRS and the lawmakers don't stand up quickly. And the IRS needs like the better bet now. Normal means is yes, no, it's not on the signing scare. Air neg on the link because we're read evidence from tax scholars. They say fiat solves it doesn't. Interpretation we get links to normal means of plain passage, i.e. the most likely way that occurs or link evidence says that new taxes will collapse the IRS. Republicans wouldn't automatically want to donate new resources to the IRS despite the plan and budget to pass back in March. It's impossible to appropriate new resources. Now all the counterparts can see the permutation not going for it. All three reasons reject the argument not the team. The Fed just said concede no impact. The speakership just said concede no Taiwan impact. Not going for it. Advantage 1, no new resource wars. That's Cook. 21 the rights of emergency requires the resources and turn into civil war. The people need the capability to interrupt us undermining the resource base. Necessary is a link is just highly conditional and simply blessed to overstating with the literature and mixed evidence and the countries to underlie the conflict and pathways have only one week. The board goes over and then no one suggested that climate change will lead to cause of war and the world will not just happen because of the weather and best statistical evidence has figured 11 the climate change will not necessarily lead to armament the political scientists that are saying the resource shortage of economy and the wars are not because of pressures on land water law because the local skirmishes that genuine where the forces are organized and armed defense war on the government and the ideologies of availability of the land reviewing the very large numbers something rather than cherry picking one or two relations between resource scarcity and the conflict that very little support in the environment is one ingredient in a mixture that depends on much more than the social organization to research for is far from inevitable and no large asteroids that's Caitlin 19 the odds of such an object hitting the north and our left is close to zero in the upcoming centuries. It looks like entropy and everything that we know is about the too small to cause any damage to zero chance it'll actually collide past with the earth in the next 100 years and no environment impact is Brazil. That's Carranza. 18 Little evidence says it's hard to manage for every single data and identify where the threshold is, and then the results do not point to the accidental risk of data with socio local observations and little evidence of biodiversity is declining even at local scales with local and regional biodiversity is often staying up the same because it replaces local loss and nowhere to focus at loss of 90% of what we need to be a mechanism for the end of civilization. Bomb, it's a launcher list, they can't solve it, doesn't say that the OSC is key, and space call impossible, that's Robinson 16. The galaxy may not be the humanity's destiny, it looks at stars, less than 12 million light years and send the people over from such immense distances as we shipping the bigger arcades and more through them make carry along the solar substance vicious cycle that can be squared and physical influence and earth gravity magnetic field chemical makeup atmosphere insulation bacterial load and tropic the moon starts with me living in a stupid complex model advantage to no gray zone escalation that's TOC 20 nuclear agent increased apprehension toward the engagement that will warfare making it impossible to revision its power to inflate there is alternative tactical challenges that without the major order escalation gray zone identifying charge of nuclear agent resistance to full on what is taking a new form of the aid of cyber weapons and measure revision with the issue and no issue of the warfare and take cautious and except one hold the power side distributing the signal altogether and no entanglement that's directly 15 entanglement will almost never happen with the Russian and I'll be attacking the third party in the case we're driven by the line of U.S. interests and not alliance obligations. Mark Beckley at obligations.
5. Starting now.
Briefly to use, so 114.
send it out. When people are buying.
I thought we were going off paper for a second there.
Straight paper.
That would have been real cool.
I said it's one card in my thing.
Still waiting.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, right, it's fine.
I'm just gonna start the order. I was gonna go to your line.
You should write it, honestly.
Is everybody ready for an order? Okay. Advantage 1, Celestial Resources. Advantage 2, OST. Signing Statement, Counterplan. IRS specific.
Advantage 1, advantage 2, signing statements, and then IRS.
Yeah. Everybody good? I'm gonna start.
Okay, I'm good.
Yes, resource wars, their evidence doesn't assume absolute shortage, just empirics which does not cross that threshold causes global nuclear war. Yes, asteroids are evidence has mathematical models and says that the likelihood of an existential impact is literally 100%. You should prefer mathematical models and studies over random people from the New Yorker, and no impact is empirically wrong. It's literally what killed the dinosaurs. No environment defense does not assume an asteroid collision and colonization. It's not impossible. They consider that gene editing overcomes physical barriers, and Robinson picks literally a random star in the universe and says that we're not close enough. We're obviously not going to be colonizing actual stars. We're going to be colonizing planets, and he doesn't mention the closest one. They concede colonization solves all otherwise inevitable existential race short circuits the impact to the counterplan, so you can vote out from presumption because presumption flips absolutely goes for counterplan. OSV. Yes, gray zone escalation. Cody and Beckley evidence are both about earthly gray zone escalation, not escalation that occurs in space. He conceded ASATs and Cyberwar, both say sound satellites, which are highly vulnerable. No entanglement is only about CNC systems on Earth. They conceded that satellites are sitting right out in the open, and China and Russia can both use both cyber means and physical means, things like rope weapons, to hook our satellites out of orbit, causing nuclear miscalculation. Signing. Perm do the AF and the counterplan over legislation and another issue. Both perms sent out in the 2AC. They certainly solve, bring the deficits here. Jensen evidence is wrong. There's no vagueness deficit. Just because the perm text is vague doesn't mean the substance of the perm's policy is. The perm is not the text of the bill and is specific enough. The perm has Congress pass a specific piece of legislation and then has the president say that that piece of legislation is unconstitutional, which sounds like a specific mandate. Rightness is similarly wrong. Biller evidence also assumes a non-specific policy, which isn't the perm, but the second perm also obviously circumvents both. It has Congress implement the plan and then has the president state that a specific space resource is unconstitutional. Insofar as there are deficits, they exist on a sliding scale, and competition is a yes/no question. If we get the risk of a net benefit sufficiently low and solved by the permutation, then you should defer AF because the counterplan sucks. Counterplans must compete sexually and functionally, no link to intrinsicness, because we're testing one element of a dual-pronged competition mandate. Text is the only objective metric for competition. Dropped, nobody knows what a function is, where one ends and where one begins, making counterplan competition unpredictable for the AF and neg. They say neg ground. Text and function certainly provides plenty. One, stop whining. Every AF links to econ and politics because they rely on non-conventional unconventional economics, states control spending, small social security absolutes to the PIC and the SSA disad, and welfare case solved. You literally had the econ disad in the doc, and you decided to skip it for this garbage. 2 is abusive counterplans, infinite consult delay, and pressure counterplans that steal the AF. 3, text writing. Carefully writing the text allows their counterplans without us being able to permit. No moving target. 1, text turns it. It's more objective, providing predictable brackets around what function can be. 2, definition solved, and it's inevitable under functional competition because teams will always have an incentive to be squirrely. No education impact. 1, debate doesn't solve. All causes like our family and friends, religion outweigh. 2, fairness turns. People quit debate if it's unfair, and there's no incentive to research in a game where you're going to lose unfairly. 3, process counterplans are obviously terrible for it, which their interp allows. No link to process tabs. None of them have linkage key warrants, and they lose to topic picks with a topic disad. Neg ground does not outweigh. The block checks any harms of this. They say arbitrariness. 1, turn text is more objective, so less arbitrary by definition. And 2, it's also less arbitrary. We must defend the entire plan text, and we may insert either the plan or the counterplan text in extra time without scrambling the words. We both chose the words in the plan and the counterplan, and 1 duplication allows us to net benefits, which are clearly not germane, as is the case with this counterplan. Perm do both also solves a net benefit because the court still strikes down the signing statement. The perm's not incoherent, the counterplan is. Downgrading is wrong. The court won't uphold it because they have read evidence saying the court would strike down any signing statement. Standing deficit says nothing. The perm still results in strike down on the grounds that signing statements are bad. Certainty is key. Avoiding mining is largely theoretical because of a lack of legal certainty. Investors fear investing in an unclear process, and counterplans convoluted and signal it makes the text seem too risky, causing resource overuse and a lack of funds. That's Skiba and Caleb. The counterplan can't solve. The counterplan involves a convoluted process over space taxation. The dex exploration. The solvency arguments don't assume the counterplan, which does not fiat the counterplan actually causes Congress to fully sue the courts. That's their evidence asserted for reference plan results in immediate private actor uptake. Goes 20. Companies do not have to wait with partial ownership. Companies could emerge state leveraging faster development. Agencies cannot counteract companies. Mark that card at companies. The internal is fake. There have been decades of signing statements. No evidence explains why use now cause extinction. All causes take it out. Extend pomper. There are structural features of the executive that make their impact broadly inevitable. Job. Python Warren says that the president can fiat other means to violate the SOP without signing statements. There's no authority over them. I rest a second. No turns case, all based on question of trust, which they have no internal link to. Taxpayer benefits can overcome lack of trust from things like stealing the election and Biden's stance on Israel. There's also no debt impact. Bled 23, financing costs are a sleight of hand. The vast majority of debt is not at its peak rate. Think globally. Too many experts have to sell importers. We make the biggest importer. The only way to actually offload is to accept dollars. Market accept dollars. IRS cuts now. To see evidence is most recent. It says that modernization will be killed. Is predictive. Their evidence isn't. It's far off. Experts agree. IRS overhaul takes years. Would have been 319. Experts are they agree that the effort overall the IRS will take years. Agency must 100,000 modernizing. The long-term funds will be more difficult to tax. To strip away funding. The IRS would also obviously cut other programs. No evidence says that the disad scenario is on the chopping block. They would trim the fat and make the IRS more efficient before they would do that stuff. Also, it doesn't turn the case. Fiat solves and begs the question of trust and critical.
8. 54. No, we took more. This was after 8:16, I think. Perhaps starting out. Can I get the uniqueness card on iOS?
Yeah.
Did you extend the delay deficit on siding stations?
Yeah.
MBA good?
Yeah.
Panel good.
I wait for this slide. Nothing over nonsense.
Sit down.
Continue to link no impact on boyfriend, no offensive floor signing statements, separation of powers that weighs the cause of miscal, guiding foreign policy, and there's no theories on every theater, and they trust the case holders internally, so independent of those reasons, and countries would lose faith in the credibility and commitment of the OST. That's your policy both for both advantages means space law cannot solve the benefit. So space law does not solve it. Not time scales too long, and will extend to the theater of space. Executive overreach is also likely to cause extinction in the short term. For Tracy, what is other issues, but I'll answer do both for us. It's zero risk. One is mutual exclusivity. It's efforts. The CP embodies the plan through legal force of a signing statement. If you had a question enforcement, as per every definition of CP, 2 standing, Congress can deny standing on the grounds that Congress can deny standing on the grounds that Congress was not heard about the statements and quote mere words as supposed to word 3 alignment. The permits the disagreement hypothetical which may eliminate conflict between the branches. Not submitted at all. That's Anderson, which will get struck down and will be advisory as per our broad evidence. Tracy, or 1 year after 3 was the perm other issues. It's intrinsic against the CP's process on something neither the plan of the CP. That's what issue intrinsic action to this on the ground and gives return critical add-ons because there's different things that they could attack in the plan. They've dropped that we only get functional competition versus new apps, which is a limited condition. That's also other offerings. Functional competition alone is best one. Is the impact is ground one is space of history. Actual competition words of inclusive break planning, words like funding, not only if etc. So afraid of the politics and econ and kills fairness. Big plans big clash of fitness, skill and clash, and education terms are often so scalable points. They can jump up the words and letters to weird add-ons if you have benefits. This can also be done in different languages, resulting in more contrived forms that they justify functional servants, which leads on the ground 3 process CPs are good. They're critical on the ground against new apps, which become unbeatable under their model. They're negative, the negatives do actually 2 ways lies break new and racial margins, making their interpretation completely untenable. For process CP solves it, forces teams read. Process-based advantage is serving as a functional limit, which creates depth in education. Difference are often entering the resolution through limits into the logic term case specificity process also services. Big S for logic deficits, cultivating logic disciplines, no offense, no defense. Block, next also neck flex, not neck ground. The D is about neck ground, small SSS are huge, and they have infrared to conduct deficits. The ground outweighs one is literature. It needs economically, politically, politics lacks uniqueness to the Biden, and the Freedom Caucus in Ukraine just died, and the uniqueness shot for economy to the Fed and downward indicators to social security. It's used because expand is meaningless. And then there's small F's will always dodge politics and econ to be structured. They can provide niche as the topic cases meant to be core positions like states and econ, but they pick the one I see and the Toyota, which has last piece persuasion, no objectivity impact. The day link their model includes functional competition, which triggers unobjective competition evaluations. That's offense vagueness from dictionary terms and language terms makes its text and meaning ambiguous. Function is objective, it's backed by evidence, which is easier to adjudicate. Solvency navigates CX tags, normal means, and defining words in this and the text check, no cheating CPs if the benefits so contrived. The muted opportunity both theory checks, judges in absence, their teams have to be affirmative too. Look and see planets the vacuum that puts the ball in their court. If they don't want our process CPs to compete, then they should simply remove words like should, substantially, and increase from plan text that is simply worked by beating the opposite CP, deficits, dictates, modeling, sorting, leadership, rollback, etc. And lack of literature checks the worst examples because those CPs don't have the benefits, normal means fixed don't compete, off the planes made it under just not competitive. And was the community halfway, the voting for T interpretations that include by CP and allow for a larger amount of affirmatives, write it better counterpart text. It's not possible. There's tens of thousands of fonts and languages that's insanely large neck burden for every counterpart. New apps and lack of limits prevent smart text to overset research the efforts and prevent to create so many crafty plain text as possible, but as the negative do actually plan based. CPs like agent and mechanism based also require the plan results in independent textual topicality DA, burdening counterparts with textual and functional competition, reciprocity and logically burdens topicality with textual and functional violations. Because combination is topicality, i.e. the process determining the plan's mandate that allows the affirmative to be functionally non-topical while being textually topical. Topicality under functional competition forces the after defend all or part of the resolution. Apply that to textualism. Affirmative teams can believe the words united federal government and read the state should do the plan as a topical off. They can read the word social and expand security while reading military advantages or believe in the U.S. and provide a basic income in Iraq or and read our commodity, the monetary policy advantages. Those are magnified by scrambled syntax and literal. The Taliban's to topicality, creating endless possibilities for the affirmative now. Certainty is offense. The laws are permanent because of signing statements since they can revoke the plan after passage and the public is not the fear is durable, the CP is insanely durable, and the 1 year span is wrong. It has huge political support from the judiciary and the Congress, and unsettled law is easy for investors to see and invest in uncertainties that will blow over in a few months at worst. It's also inevitable litigation, media, and backlash have no checks, interbranch conflict, and SOP collapse, delete the signal of certain rulemaking and lawmaking and ruin the certainty as per dropped arguments, no delay deficit, the CP's instant, and the court will respond within 2 weeks. Emergency petitions are also faster than that. The case is way far off, and the plan has been in court for decades, and they need litigation for enforcement, which takes time, and the deficit also asteroid mining and resource shortages and space are way far off. Sorry, if the CP is key to running the executive, the signing statements are key. They make every other check ineffective, which renders congressional law meaningless entirely and empowers an unhinged president. No people thumpers that heat evidence says that recent presidents have greater leeway to and immune to oversight. Trump sets a president, and the executive going rogue with the NDAA and a Newtonian with Korea and Russia policy that links to them. The plan has been for decades, and there's no brink claim established, no all causes. This is unique. This presidential power is high
apply now because the signing statements, even if authority exists post EP, is no longer unchecked. Congressional pushback, and then the court decisions not only prevent rogue signing statements, but also set a precedent that the executive cannot go rogue in other theaters and make other checks effective. Our Hathaway evidence says that now is key because of recent court decisions and SCOTUS opinions. Good. Right. Good.
Okay. 114.
You also have compelling evidence.
Yes.
Okay. Advantage 1, then the counterpart. Okay, so everyone good? Okay.
Westwood has lost a meeting with the government. The process countermeasures of final TOC while dropping the entirety of the case. The first advantage definitely causes change in asteroid. Asteroids on the asteroids on the planet will cause the change because it'll kill everyone on the planet. They conceded the risk of the case, which means I'll go to the countermeasure now. First, I'll do the perm. Other issues go to there in your flow. Perm to the after the countermeasure of the streets are no deficits extended the short hour. So just a question of whether or not a textual functional combination to go will win. That it is a good thing. The two impacts to go for is first is objectivity that nobody knows what a function is that and makes competition unpredictable and nobody knows how to decide a competition makes a debate all impossible. No one will know what to do with this debate. Textual alone is functional alone is horrible because no one can define what a function is. The only objective metric is textual combination and to functional combination, which solves for objectivity. Now the 200 defense is wrong. We don't link back there's any inclusion of function or the function only is horrible for predictability because no one knows what a function is. The cross-text attacked and other stuff check is not a response because the first of the two is he dropped the objectivity stuff, which but the second argument is that only text can solve for objectivity because the functions cannot solve a cross-text, especially if they extend the countermeasure and the 1 and R. That's a very late breaking and you can't cross-text the 1 and R over the process countermeasure, which means that no one knows what the countermeasure does. So it's impossible to evaluate that for competition baits. But I'll do the second office here. The second office I'll go for its AF ground. The tutor had not enough defense on it. Abusive countermeasures will seal the AF law for delay. Regnick consult any other actor which ranks the game for the affirmative because they can write so many process countermeasures you cannot prepare for all of them, which makes it impossible to be affirmative. Now the ground defense is wrong. None of their offense solves it because it still justifies all process countermeasures. Process countermeasures are good is wrong. It is not key. They have conceded a number of defensive arguments on taller now net ground offensive. First is that textual function alone solves. Again, read econ dissents, read trade-off dissents, read politics dissents, which link to every single affirmative on the topic. That means that they do not need process economists to survive in the debate. They could have gone for the econ dissent in this round, and they would have done decently. Now, the second argument is that abusive countermeasures are worse for ground because they skew the debate in favor of the negative. The topic is already sufficiently balanced. It's only a risk that the countermeasure that their interpretation makes debate totally unwinnable for the affirmative. Third is that text writing solves other opposite. Is no link to other stuff about our interpretation getting rid of advantage countermeasures. elements because they can describe the text better to avoid doing a permutation that solves nuclear war or something like that. Now, the small search CDFs is non-responsive because those search CDFs still linked to politics or still linked to a pick, and they have horrible advantage around the space. No one to read them in the first place. Politics is not like unique, so you're going to find new scenarios just this week in Ukraine. Past that does not mean there are no other politics scenarios out there. SS expand means nothing is irrelevant because you can still read. There are definition of expand that requires you to increase benefits or expand eligibility. That's the new way card of the apps. I cannot beat econ because the app is diametrically opposed to econ redistribution. There's a lot of controversy in literature, which means there's definitely enough arguments to read it now. The Turner only went for net ground offense, which means that if we win, that there's a decent risk of half ground and net ground. If we win, there's an equal risk of half ground and net ground. You can vote affirmative on the tiebreaker when it's objectivity because if the debate is unpredictable, then no one will prepare, which turns on the ground offense because we won't learn anything from those offense. Now the Turner has a few warrants about topicality. This makes zero sense. If we win our interpretation, that means that the plans must be both textually and functionally topical, which answer the Turner arguments plus is entirely new. So just scratch it off your flow. The countermeasures that get taken out are is new, but none of the examples the Turner goes for are both textually and functionally competitive. The replacement with the states counter, but it's not make any sense because we cannot vote on the Turner side any other offense based on any other stuff. Now the interpretation that is just first new half is arbitrary will extend the arbitrary turn from the one error side and not drop this argument. He said that their interpretation is more arbitrary. That means that two ends will just keep making their interpretation more undebatable and more undebatable. That links all of our offense because even if they say that it's just first new apps, that it's still that it will spill over to worse forms of interpretation, but that it still links all of our offense because everyone will be disincentivized from bringing new apps because they'll go for the process count of everyone and kill the affirmative. That means that there's not that it still links to all of our AFCON office. No one will read new apps, which then causes debates become stale and debates become stale, and there will be no education in the round, and the Apple teams will lose every round because then they can just write case next to those affirmatives because they know no one will write a new affirmative. Now I'll go to the alternative if it is fake. They have conceded the 1 AR card, which says that there are other means by which the executive can take over the government. The proper evidence has another of other alt causes, which means there's not a risk of the internal permanent both was not properly answered. The 1 AR, the 2 AR, the 1 AR, 1 AR explanation says that the permutation still results in the precedent of the counter one because it still has the course restrict the signing statement on the grounds the signing statements are bad, and that means it's not mutually exclusive. It does not where the standing and alignment arguments are not responsive because they have the contextualization and the explanation of the perm. The net benefit is the deficit. The counter causes a huge uncertainty that they drop the 1 AR evidence says that space exploration and space mining will happen now. That means those miners will not go to space now, and they'll be attacked by the counter because it involves a protracted legal battle in the courts next surgery.
card doc is set. Slight edit to the card doc, new one sent. Slight edit to the card doc, new card doc sent.
Yeah.
Good to go. Thank you so much. Thank you. just in case. Yeah, there have been years where we said this year. Because it just makes it gotta do it.
messing up fully.
Yeah, you're like
We'll give you demerits.
you wish you had a car. Material could just give you 5 minutes. Sit. I felt like it. I was a terrible job. I believe. Clark. Sure, he was pretty bad as young. Quite a bit. Yeah. He's early on. It's true. The lore's deep and complex. For another time. But then, like, after something, it was just like,
I don't think grammar was good.
that is true. That is.
He's coming for that. I love that you also ears get tired.
I don't know nothing about the ear stuff. The red ears, the hot ears.
I think I
You get rid of
I was very jittery.
Gatorade is not.
Everything else doesn't. No, I know that shit. I love you. I think I overdosed.
That's gross.
I think I overdosed.
Yeah, I would say about 40. More than
11. 11. I think both of them got me. 10, 21, 14, then 45. After split, 45. No, they had 7. We get into it.
most off-base position in every single day. World record.
I've never been nagged on Monday because I should have all 3 rounds.
We demand much of the maximum. Decide
This
this
year
year.
was old and tired.
The base age.
Yeah, I'm already gonna like. I thought my job was stressful. You were negative.
No, but the stress. The stress.
Still. The argument you're going through. I was judging didn't realize that until after. But hey, I probably would throw this. I was like, I know what there's no.
Even when it's TOC for. It's a TOC, we're just like, 8 minutes. We lost. To the. Subtle cold mouse scroll. I can see it. You're in front of all the. Thank you, Lord, for giving me good. Thank you so much. Besides my top 1, first of all, God. Interesting. And then like during the actual speeches, he was like actually like really engaged. And he was reading blogs. You know, he's like,
That's what this is MBA. Sorry. Did I forget the motions? No. Sorry. Oh, thank you. Why are you trying to group them? It did not have what you needed. Just kind of the alumni of those days. You didn't say Marshall played coaches. Marshall actually was explicitly asked not to coach us. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's examined as well.
I tried to get you,
Very sad. Jack, I'll give you an extra break. You already know.
That would return us back to when we were coaching divisions.
I went this year with Fox.
What?
That's true. We were coaching.
Was that fun?
I don't know. Thankfully, Sarah and Dave were there. So wise and
I debated one. I debated.
yeah. Yeah. They're just so wise. They seem so old.
Let me know if y'all
If you have any questions or want to talk about college football, yeah. I have lots of actually some very
lots and lots of thoughts about both Dartmouth and Georgetown. I worked at their camps. I know their coaches very well. Yeah, if you ever want to talk about it.
Positive thoughts?
So we're all in. Adrian.
I think those are both great.
Adrian.
we can, I guess we might as well announce, we don't have to remember to take out ready. This physical is 11, so we can.
We wanted to do the hardest of the big
Leave now.
Definitely.
I had to leave now.
Answered 43 often. Yours was the most. Congrats.
And when it's snowing. Alright,
Maybe not though. I don't think so. I don't know. You gotta do the most. The most efficient.
I know why. And I know why.
You know exactly what
Oh, I know they want. Huh? This is hilarious.
What up?
How you doing?
I'm doing.
I'm on Rebuttal number 2 of 9 p.m. So, did you get food? Yes, we got food. Thank you. We got Rebuttal number 2 of 9 Yeah, for people that stare over your shoulder the whole time.
Waste the lab again.
It's gotta be an hour. This guy is so
Oh! Did you sell them?
No one clapped at any thank you speech. Well, you're so. You run it like a. Well, you got it.
Oh, I know. I agree with
Who's the?
I hope you have a president.
Are you actually doing it?
Yeah, you're like, what's the Let's go! Like I'm in on it.
We don't. 6 seconds. They don't have any time. Yeah, so Wells. Nah. Let's go, Kings, baby.
You know it's bad when I get some ring on the outfit. It's like
Every game was like 1 point. Now it's
Just play it too. Just like viral abominations.
What is that?
I expect these to be panty, sweaty. They come in as casual. That walk was way too slow. I agree.
Yeah, you agree, coach? You agree, coach? No, they just can't. The vibes are just too off. No one wants to hear it.
This is the funniest thing. Just like in water.
Hey, at least he's showing. At least you're showing. You put the effort in. Go figure food was good. Anyway, sorry for the delay. Congratulations to both teams for reaching the finals of the 53rd annual J.W. Patterson Tournament of Champions. The decision on a 2-1 is for the negative from Westwood. And runner-up from MBA. Let's give it up for them too.
I sat. How much do people want?
TLDR.
Yeah, alright. I was just like half on the objectivity impact. Don't really know what function is without text, and I thought that this filtered the counterinter, which I thought was like your all's best route to victory. Yeah, like that's kind of the very simple version of it.
Didn't think coherence was as big because I thought the 2AR was largely like circular at explaining, why it is incoherent. And I think that there's a part of the 2R that says that because function can be determined by definitions of words in a plan, it is not incoherent. Not that much like predictability impacting in the 2AR, and then like new app stuff. Like there's like more words obviously involved, but like I see net grounds nowadays.
Yeah, same on other issues. Net ground outweighs the counterpart's also majority of the app because certainty deficit, like the app is also uncertain. Net benefit is quite large because spillover, precedent, and basically all that's left is perm both, and I think of course the perm doesn't solve the net benefit, is small, but the deficit is even smaller. Just wanted to say, you two are absolutely incredible teams. It's been a pleasure to judge you all throughout the season. You should be incredibly proud of yourselves.
I've been judging you all for forever, so it's cool to see everyone kind of there. I don't think I've ever judged you all in person, but I've judged you online like a whole lot. And like, even though I voted for them, like, love to see public schools win the TOC. Love to see small schools win the TOC. Like, always here for that. Like, congratulations.
Yeah, retweet. Really enjoyed judging both of y'all. I think I've judged some version of this a million times at this point. And yeah.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Maxwell is the Raphael Pieri LSLs.
I didn't see it both times.
Oh.